Welcome, welcome by For the Passion, Not the Fashion. We are here with Ronnie, Nasty Ronnie, all the way from Florida, USA. Welcome, Ronnie.
Marco, it's good to be here, my brother. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's good to see you after the great shows I saw you playing here in the Netherlands, in Belgium. I wasn't in the Netherlands, but in Belgium, it was awesome. It was a killer
Well,
show.
thank you. And that club was really cool. It was a really a good crowd and had a lot of character there, man. It's like it was smaller stage. It was kind of hot, but
Yeah,
the
it was
guy who
hot.
owned that club, Club Hell, was a really cool guy, and he welcomed us and with open arms and took care of us. And what a great man and a great club and a great metal scene there in Belgium.
It is. I want to ask you about the Netherlands and Belgium later, so I
Okay.
skip this for now.
Okay.
And I want to ask you if you like to introduce yourself and the readers yourself and your band to our viewers. The current you and the current band. All.
Sure. I'm Ron, Nasty Ronnie himself here, vocals, the original member for 40 years, celebrating 40 years now in Nasty Savage. Pete Sykes is the guitarist. He's been with us for years. The other guitarist is David Orman, the
Yeah.
newest member after David Austin quit.
Yeah.
Um, and then we have Jim Coker on the drums. He's been with us for quite some time. And then we have Scott Carino on the bass. It's a really good unit. We're all tight, and we're ready to embark on the next chapter of Nasty Savage.
Cool. Cool. One moment. I have to check if it's everything is okay.
Okay.
Is rolling still? Yes, still rolling. Yes. To go. Then my second question: when and how and where was Nasty Savage founded, and by who?
Oh man, it was back in the day. Fred Dragish, our original bass player, and Ben Meyer and a drummer, Craig Huffman, had a band called Nightmare with a female singer.
I remember.
They
Yeah.
got rid of her, and I just heard they wanted a singer, and I was never really a singer, but my friend said, "Man, you need to go try for this band." So I tried out for this band, and I sang like I was with my wife at the time. Was We were just going out, and I said, "Just stop over here at this house. I'm going to try it for a band." And she said, "What?" I said, "I'm going to try it for this band." So I tried out. I sang like two Iron Maiden songs that I knew, and then I left, and then I never heard back from the guys again.
Oh wow.
So then I saw them at a keg party like a week later, and I said, "Hey man, you guys want me to be your singer or not?" And they said, "Yeah." I said, "I'll be over Monday with a game plan." So they go, "Okay." So I go over to the jam house on Monday, and I say, "Everybody out of the house except the band." And they're like, "Who the hell is this guy?" I go, "Everybody out except the band now." I go, "Okay, guys, sit down." I said, "The name of the band is Nasty Savage. I'm going to be Nasty Ronnie, the wildest singer ever. We're going to put our money together and do an original demo tape called Wage of Mayhem." And I said, "Within 1 year, we're going to be signed to a record label. We're going to be touring. We're getting fan mail from all over the world." I said, "Is everybody in?" And they said, "Hell yeah." And that's really how it started, man. And
Wow. Cool.
I was just always a marketing promotion guy, big bang, biggest bang for my buck.
The early days. We're talking about the early days.
Yeah, that's the Wage of Mayhem. It was re-released in Italy on
Yeah.
that disc there. Those songs on the demo tape are. I think we played every one of them in Belgium. They stood the test of time, and they're Nasty Savage classics. And it's really cool when you could do something 40 years ago and it's still relevant today.
Yeah. Because also the audience, it seems younger and younger at the time. There's a new generation who's still hungry for bands like Nasty Savage. I spoke to Whiplash last weekend. It's the same. There's still a new generation coming up for old school metal, and that's cool.
Yeah, and speaking of Whiplash, Tony, I remember Tony. We played with him at at CBGB's back in the day with Hollow's Eve, Whiplash, and Nasty Savage. And
Yeah.
I saw him where was it? In Chicago, I think it was. I saw Tony, and we played there. So, it's really cool when the younger generation now, there's fathers bringing their sons to Nasty Savage, and I'm meeting the next generation. And you have bands like Obituary who've given us a lot of props. Death used to wear our T-shirts all the time, but Obituary put us in that video, 10,000 Ways to Die. It's got over 5 or 6 million views. They've made a whole chapter of Nasty Savage in their book, and that's really, really respectful. And I think it's helped a lot of the younger kids know who we are. And then with us going out and playing shows and keeping the music alive, more younger kids, I think, are smarter, and they want to go back to the old school because it's a little different from just the same old death metal over and over and over.
Yeah, and this is I skip a lot of questions because you already talked about the Tardy brothers. Hello?
Okay.
Yeah, I skip some questions. I come back for those later. But
Okay.
you're from Florida, and it seems you were a really big inspiration for the death metal kids in your area back in the 80s. It even seems you told me that in Belgium, that the two Tardy brothers ringed your door and brought you a visit back when they were very young, and told you that they wanted to start a band. Is that correct?
Yeah, what happened was when we played, there wasn't a lot of bands out there, so we kind of paved the way. And for me, I wanted to be just wild and impact people, and burn images in their brain, or just go over the top, wild,
Yeah.
Nasty Savage. So when these bands or young kids saw us and they wanted to be in bands, I think it created that whole level of new era of extreme metal that came out. Obituary was one of them when they were Executioner, but also Deicide, Morbid Angel, Death, 6 Feet Under, all these, there's so many bands that I think were inspired by us because we gave them that wild shit. So then they had to take it to an extreme level as well. One of them was the Tardy brothers that came to my mom's house. They found out where I lived on bicycles. They knocked on my door, and they go, my mom goes, "There's 2 boys at the door. I want to talk to you." I said, "Okay." So I go out there. I go, are you Nasty Ronnie? I go, "Yeah." They go, "Well, we're John and Donald Tardy we're John and Donald Tardy. We want to know how to start a band." And they came right to the source of a guy, me, who was a marketing metal guy, and a front man and a marketing guy and a promoter. I was just doing it all because that's what I had to do. So I said, "Man, you guys are brilliant." I said, let's go to Lithia Springs. It's a park here, a spring. And I said, "We'll go throw the Frisbee," for about 5 hours, and hung out that day. And, I really kind of schooled them and inspired them. And look what they went on to do. I just talked to Donald Tardy about a week ago about, how they do it all and everything. And having the next Nasty Savage album, I'm going to let a secret out here. I want John Tardy to sing a song with me, and it might be one off the demo tape that we record again. And he said, "We'd love to do it." So that's what I'm planning.
Wow, cool. Well, that's something we can wait for, because it's also something I want to ask you, but something about new material. But later, you already did a little bit of I say that a teaser of the new album. Yes.
Right.
And there's something what was a little bit disappointed for me, but I did a few years ago, I think 1.5 years ago, I did an interview with David Austin, the guitarist and also co-founder of the band, and I did a really cool interview with him, and but then I heard he left. What happened?
Well, yeah, David, after I got in the band, we were ready to do a demo. We had a plan, and at the same time, we replaced the drummer with Curtis Beeson, and that's when we brought David in as the second guitarist. So then we followed with our plan, and we recorded the demo tape. And you know, everything was history after that. We got signed to Metal Blade within a year. We were getting fan mail. Everything that I planned happened. You know, I love David to death, and he was a great songwriter, and we shared so many great memories and ups and downs together through the world.
Yeah.
But he just got burned out after we played in Mexico. He just said, "Man, I'm done. I've done it all. I'm happy. I'm content, and you know, I quit. I quit Nasty Savage. I'm done." And it was no hard feelings, but I guess he might have thought it was going to be the end of Nasty Savage. But I said, man, I've got another chapter here, and I got some guys that are hungry, and we're gonna move on. We're gonna keep going. So we're still friends, and he's got a project now he's doing called DNA. David Nelson Austin is his initial, so that's DNA, and it's I'm sure it's going to be killer. But first he was just going to do acoustic something, get rid of all his gear, and now he's doing his own little project. So you know, I wish him all the best, and it's just, you know, we can't go back. We can't go back there. I can't change it. We've got to cherish those moments and the music that we have that are historical. But I mean, I've got to keep doing it if I want to do it, you know. So right now I have guys that are hungry, they're talented, and we've got some killer new songs, and you know, we're very excited about it.
Yeah, it sounded very good. I like the new musicians too, but of course David Austin was together with you the only guys from the beginning. So of course it was a little bit like, oh, he's gone, you know. But I understand.
It's like a relationship, you know. Sometimes they just don't always last forever. But if you lose your wife or something, you got to find another one, or a girlfriend, or your boss job. You know, you can't just quit and fall off the face of the earth. If it's in your blood, you know, if it's in your blood, you just have to keep going. And I think anybody can be replaced in a band, but when you try to replace someone like me, it's going to be very hard. Plus, I have the name, and it's you know, I wish we had everybody that we used to have, but you know, it's like when you saw us in concert, it was still Nasty Savage.
It was for sure.
Yeah.
It was for sure.
I'm
And
carry that till I die, you know?
it was a killer show. Hey, and which bands and artists influenced Nasty Savage since the beginning? What are your big inspirations?
Well, it's weird because, of course, you love the Scorpions, Judas Priest, you know, and the Iron Maiden, and the new wave of British heavy metal was a big inspiration on me, you know, like Diamond Head or Holocaust, Angel Witch, Venom, you know, always Black Sabbath and things like that. But I also love Pink Floyd, the Beatles. I love James Brown and Elvis Presley, and, you know, just people who impacted me and as performers. And so I get inspiration from all over, you know, and of course then Metallica and Slayer. But, you know, I really don't listen to a lot of metal. I really don't. It's because that's why we have our own style. I appreciate it all, but I really I like old 70s, 60s music, the music they don't make anymore. It's timeless music, you know. It's great music, and I really love it because when I grew up, my sister and brother were listening to that stuff, like the Beach Boys or the Beatles, you know, and Elvis, people who've impacted me, James Brown, or, you know, just guys who are badass at what they did and successful. So today there's all kinds of new bands out there, and there's so many great bands from Crimson Glory, Savatage, you know, bands who have impacted me like that, local, you know, Agent Steel, Creator, you know, all the bands. And they used to come to Florida, and I used to always see them in the studio after we recorded in Tampa. Bands would come from all over the world to record at Morris Sound Recording Studio. So I'd always go in there and do backup vocals or little projects with them. And I love all the guys I meet on the road and all the bands and the young kids. I always spend time with them. You know, if they're cool enough to talk, I'm cool enough to talk as well. and try to inspire them, because 40 years and still doing it is pretty remarkable, you know, to have that longevity.
True. And you talked about the Morrison Sound Studio. They released the best death metal bands ever. Scott Burns.
Yeah. You know, Scott Burns was when we recorded there in the original building, he
Uh,
was just an assistant. He'd run back and forth and get coffee. He'd get, you know, the
oh wow,
tapes taken over, and you know, so he became this unbelievable producer,
he
and it
did.
was amazing to see all that change. And you know, that's what Tampa Bay's about. You know, it was the
True.
death metal capital. At one time, it was the metal capital and the death metal capital of the world. And I think Nasty Savage had a lot to do with that. And a lot of these guys give us props for that. And then people like Morris Sound Recording, Scott Burns, and you know, people wanted to work with him from all over the world, man. It was really cool now when they give us props for that, and recognize us as leaders, as visionaries, as people who paved the way.
That's awesome. Great great to see that that you did it for a good thing. You know that your music is like a statement, like something people. Yeah.
But I
No,
mean,
no.
we just did what we felt was real and natural, and we didn't do it for anybody else but us, you know. And sometimes I think you either love it or you hate it, because it's not everyday kind of music, you know. And it was weird because sometimes you get in a rabbit hole, and a rabbit hole is like on YouTube. I looked at this show we did in Canada, a song, Nasty Savage, and on the DRI tour. We did 60 shows in 65 days. So I'm watching that one song, Stab in the Back. And next thing you know, it goes to the show in Poland that we played. It's a pretty famous big show in Poland. So I start watching it, and I'm like, look at these guitarists and Ben and Dave, the crazy music that they're doing. I'm like, golly, it's so killer. And I'm up there singing. I'm like, you know, I just got to cherish those great moments. And then I looked at the comments by the people, and there's some great comments there, and some of them were saying these guys were from another planet, you know, shit like that about
Oh,
our music. And it was really cool to see that, because I've never seen this stuff. So I just got to give props to David and Ben and Curtis and all the bass players, and because without them, that's the driving force of Nasty Savage. I just do my lyrics and vocals, but then when I do my stuff on stage, it's
mhm.
because of the music. You know, it's all because of the music. It's that power that I get that vibe from. You know, it's like I don't know, it's like a shaman or something, like a voodoo thing that just gets in my body, and it takes me to another level. The music and the musicians. I have to honor those guys, man, because and with the new guys, I'm telling them, I'm saying, you guys do the music, okay? I'll do my vocals and lyrics, but I'm not going to tell you how to make the music. I want you guys to do it. So really right now working on new material, and I just got to fire them up enough and get them motivated with energy and fire to create this new, because we're at a crossroads right now. What is the new Nasty Savage going to sound? Is it going to be as good? Is it going to be better? Or people are going to hate it? You know, I don't care what people think, but we need to live it. We need to,
Yeah.
you know, say this is the best we have, and we're proud of this. And that's where we're at, man. I'm on an edge right now. It's like walking a tightrope, man. We got to deliver something powerful, and it's exciting to be on that edge, you know.
I can't wait. I can't wait. Hey, and what about lyrical content of your songs? Can you tell me more about the lyrical content of your songs?
Well, you know, as you get older in life, you get more mature with your writing and your delivery, and maybe a message or two. But I've always written about psychological inhumanities or reality of people and how they react to each other and things we kind of deal with. It's really about people and life in general. And, you know, we have some songs like Schizoid Platform is one of them, Aztec Elegance, Brainwasher, uh, Operation Annihilate. So, you know, we've got some really cool, The Sixth Finger. we might do Witches Sabbath on this album,
Yeah,
but it's about reality, and it's just twisted lyrics that might have a paradox meaning of more than one thing. You got to read between the lines and listen to the space between the words to see if you can figure it out. But in general, it's just stuff to make you think, or things we deal with, stuff like that. Reality, like what is Operation Annihilate? You think, oh, it's about annihilating a bunch of people, annihilating a bunch of. It's not. It might be about Operation Annihilate your brain, your mind, your relationships. It's just things we deal with. And in the old days, we were singing about thunder and lightning and killing posers and
killing
stuff.
with the video. You made also a Metal Night video in 2012. But tell me more about it later. But continue.
So it's just like as you get older, you start thinking, what am I doing here? I
Yeah.
gotta. And because you mature in life, you become parents, you become business owners, you can become long-lasting relationships with media and people, and like you with your podcasts and your media and your YouTube, and we've had to adapt to all the platforms as well, and run businesses and just survive in life and pay your bills and deal with life, so that's really what it's about. It's just, and then we just bring entertainment to take you away from all the bullshit in life. Listen to a band, listen to some music, and enjoy it.
Well, good. I like your information. You give a good bunch of information. It's cool. I think the people will like it.
Well, I try to relate to people, because even in concert and on a stage, you have an opportunity to relate. And why not send people home with make them laugh or make them cry, make them get real serious and feel something. And that's something they're going to take home with them, let alone burn some images in their brain to separate us from the next band. Nasty Savage is just in your face. It's real, it's live, but the music backs it up too. So I really, as I got older in life, I really try to connect with the people and let them know, man, it's okay to cry. It's okay to laugh. It's okay to love your brother. It doesn't matter what color you are, where you're from, what religion. It's in the name of metal that we're coming together tonight, and let's celebrate this evening, right?
Yeah, true.
Right. Can I testify?
I enjoyed your stories in these. Because you also played in my hometown back in the day, but skip that for later. Because but I saw you for the first time. I think I saw you now for the first time. But I'm from '78, so I'm 45 now. So I missed you guys in the '80s. Too bad.
Oh yeah, we played in '88 in Belgium. Yeah.
And you played in Noorderlicht Club, and I come from Tilburg.
Uh-huh.
And you played there in 1988. You played in my hometown.
Oh shoot.
Yeah.
Hey, I remember that show, man. There were some diehard fans, and if anything, I think the '80s era was a lot more wild, stage diving and just nonstop craziness, where the fans today kind of sit back and watch, and they take it all in, and they're maybe a more mature audience that want to see everything.
I think it's because of the age. I think it's because of the age. You see some young people diving and thrashing around, but the older guys go more laid back. And but there is some youth, and I was a little bit disappointed in these. There were not so many crazy stage dives, but it was small, of course. Yeah. I don't know how it was in Heavy Metal Maniacs in Netherlands, if it was there a crazy mosh pit or not.
Not really. So what some of the guys were telling me is they were just in, I don't want to say it, but they said they were in awe of what was happening, what was before them, to see this show and to see Nasty Savage. They wanted to take it all in. So, and I think it's a more mature audience now, more educated, more hardworking blue collar people that can afford to come to concerts and travel. And sometimes all the young kids can't get out there, but either way, I just react to we do our thing, man. And I'm sure Well, a guy told me, he goes, yeah, they're kind of silent sometimes, but after the show, they were raving about it. So I just do my thing and we do our thing and produce on stage, and it all works out. I just hope they remember something about us when we're gone to tell others and to tell their grandchildren.
Yeah,
One day.
grandchildren. Okay, it's
You
gonna
know,
happen. It's gonna happen. Hey, and for what's your favorite Nasty Savage album and why?
oh, that's a good question, but it's sort of like your children. You love them all, man. You love them all.
Yeah.
It's hard to pinpoint one because you know what the best one, my favorite is.
No.
You know what? Which one? The next one.
The next one. Yeah. And that's
Because
what.
that's where we're at. I mean, I love. There's something about certain songs, and I remember one day I got a phone call from David Austin. He goes, "Hey man, I got a good, I got a good song title for this song I'm writing." I go, "What would that be?" He goes, "XXX." So
That's one of my favorite songs. Of course, it's.
to hear that and to remember that, and or
It,
when he gave me this music and I came up with a song called Eromantic Vertigo,
yeah.
and things like that. It's just, so those certain songs you love. Abstract Reality is a cool song, and it's, they're all equal though, because we worked hard on every single one of them and recorded in the studio and practice. So I really have to say, man, that the best ones are the ones to come, I hope. And that's what we have to put all our energy into the new product and new writing, and that bring the guys together. It's so important to motivate people to get fired up about a project. And that's where we're at, man.
Yeah. And you always destroy TVs on stage with your face covered in blood. When was the idea started for for this act, and how important is the visual aspect of a Nasty Savage show for you?
Well, first off, I'm going to say this. In the old days in America, you'd have Johnny Cash, Elvis Presley, Little Richard, and Jerry Lee Lewis sometimes on a tour sharing that same stage in one night. Um, Jerry Lee, Little Richard would get off the stage and go to Jerry Lee, top that. And then Jerry Lee would be playing and they'd burn his piano down. So
Uh,
what I'm saying is, when you have that precious moment on stage, take it, make the most of it. And that's all I ever knew, is just to be a performer. So, it's not just the music for me. It's the whole show that I put on, but how I do it is I it's entertainment. But one of my big inspirations and a good friend of mine was Wendy O. Williams from the Plasmatics.
I love
And
it.
she did stuff with guitars and Solomon half and smash TVs with sledgehammers. And something impacted me about that, because she was anti-authority, brainwashing me with the TV bullshit. I'm going to smash things that people appreciate to get their attention. So there's something about that. I said, you know what? That's a good gimmick, or it's a good prop. So on the very first show we ever had, I had a TV set there, and it was in this guy's back on the side yard of his house in a neighborhood. His parents left for the weekend, and we played right there. We went to a job site in a construction yard with Fred's van, and we stole a bunch of plywood and made a stage. Oh man, we made the stage. We played this big show, and the police came within about four songs. And as soon as they came, we started singing "Breaking the Law" by Judas Priest. So they're
Yeah.
walking on stage trying to get us stopped. And I'm going, "Breaking the law, break." So everybody goes, "Oh my God, these guys are great! Look we love this band. Look, they're calling the cops out, man." And that night, I was about to go on stage, and there's like 50 or 60, 80 people in there. My buddy was on a Harley Davidson. I go, "Hey man, let me ride your bike." And I rode the bike right through the crowd. And I rode right up to the front of the stage and got off and got on stage and started. So right from the beginning, we were like off the chain, man. And I smashed the TV set there. But I think I might have used a sledgehammer then. So through the years, I just kept using it. And what I like to do with it is look inside of it try to get the people to go, what is he doing? What is this? But what it is, you know, it's like a bullfighter. You know, a bullfighter in Spain and Mexico, they, you know, he messes with the bull the whole time. And at the end, you know what happens to the bull, right?
Yeah.
They,
Sad enough.
they, yeah, they,
They
you
kill
know,
it.
they kill it at the end, which I don't condone that. I think it's kind of bad, or, you know, horrifying to kill an animal like that in a show. So I don't condone that. But it's the art of playing with something the whole time, like a cat and mouse, and at the end you know what's going to happen to it. But throughout the night, I do things to keep it in the show. Like I'll pull it around like a wagon or something from the cord, or I'll try to turn the channels. I'll use a remote. I'll look into it, and people go, "What is he looking at?" Because I'm seeing something in there that's telling me to be crazy, or something. And then I start with the flowers, with the morgue. You know, I bring out these flowers, and I start throwing flowers on the TV, and it's a symbol. It's symbolic because it's saying this TV is going to be sacrificed, and these are the sacrificial flowers. But the people have to figure that out, and I wear that mask for the morgue by telling people, don't forget where you come from, and if you're not talking to somebody, call them, because it'll be too late when you're in the morgue. I put that mask on, but I tie in the flowers and the TV as a sacrificial object if you get it all. And at the end, it's time to bust the TV, and then I get, sometimes, or most of the time, it does bring out blood, because a thumb in the eye never say die. Blood brings a crazy light to the sky, you know, and that's what I feel like, you know. And it's like, man, when I hold that TV up over my head and I look up and I see myself in that image, I'm like, this is it, baby. This is it, man. Check this out. Boom, boom, you know. And it's just entertainment, you know, and that's what I do.
Yeah.
I love it. No one else does it. I do.
No, it's a famous act for Nasty Savage, of course. That's why I asked for it. Hey, and go back in time. You were Did you play wrestling yourself, or you were a big fan of it?
Well, I was always a big fan of wrestling, and that's what Nasty Savage has always been, a mix between pro wrestling meets Jim Morrison of the Doors. That's another one of my big inspirations. And then with a mix of Slayer and Alice Cooper, maybe. So
that's a good mixture, yeah.
Yeah, and I was always a big fan of, and a preacher, you know, maybe a motivational speaker to inspire others. So all those mixtures brings out who I am, with James Brown and Elvis, and, you know, just bringing on that show. But the wrestling was always a big part of it. I wouldn't come out of the house at 8 o'clock until 8 o'clock on Saturday night. When wrestling was over, I'd watch it with my mom, and I got to meet some wrestlers, and I got to meet with Kevin Sullivan, the Prince of Darkness. He was a really bad guy in wrestling, or evil. Everybody thought he was satanic. He was just heavy. He was really cool. And I got to meet him at an Iron Maiden concert backstage. I said, dude, I want to work with you guys. And he kept blowing me off. And I'd go to the arena and talk to him again. He'd go, come to this one. He kept running me around, and I kept being, I stayed on top of it. I kept following him. And so then I said, look, I'm playing Saturday night, man, at this club called Ruby's Pub. You've probably seen live recordings from Ruby's Pub back in the 80s, including the eve of New Year's Eve with Death at Ruby's Pub. So I said, hey, we're playing Saturday night. Why don't you come see me? And sure enough, I'm on stage. It's a little club, mayhem going down, thrashers, crazy shit. And I look to the left and I see Kevin Sullivan, Oliver Humperdinck, Mayha Singh, and the Purple Haze come in, and they go to the back. And once they saw me command the crowd and do my thing, they called me the next morning and said, dude, you need to come talk to us today. Come to my apartment. We want to have lunch with you. And they cooked steak. They cooked steak and lobsters, man. I went over there, and they go, man, we want to work with you. So I started working with him, and I took him to Vandekar's house, the guy who painted our album covers, the Warlock. You know, on the back of Abstract Reality, on the back of on the back of the Abstract Reality. Uh, there's that's the back of Vandekar's house. That's the top of his house, a big
Oh wow.
garden, and he had all kinds of crazy stuff, man. So they filmed the opening of Championship Wrestling from Florida, and it's a big TV show, and I'm in there with Kevin Sullivan going, and now we're with Nasty Ronnie from Nasty Savage, and this
Really?
is hang out with here at the House of Prince of Darkness. So once that happened, man, I was green light to do my shit in wrestling, and I started going to local shows, and next thing you know, I became a wrestling manager, and soon after that, I was a promoter, and then I got a job at Universal Studios, and I co-produced 200 episodes of the IWF Wrestling. You could Google Nasty Ronnie Wrestling, and it'll pop up at Universal. There's like 4 or 5 highlight tapes. So I was a color. I used to do talent promotions, and I was a manager, and I did some matches. So I learned the business, and that's where I learned the TV business. And then I got out of that, and I started my own TV show called Born to Ride, a motorcycle show. And I did that for 28 years. I produced 1,340 TV episodes of Born to Ride, and I publish a magazine now, Born to Ride. So I'm still publishing a magazine, and that's my business, you know. But the wrestling has always been a part of it, and it was always cool. And you know, some people didn't like it, some people did, but it's something I always liked. And I had that parallel going with pro wrestling. As a matter of fact, just this week, I've got notified from the guy I used to work with that he wants to bring it back to Universal. So he's making me the vice president of this new wrestling company, and we have a TV deal. And now we're looking for funding to go back into Universal Studios to create this TV show again. And then he's got a movie script too called Chokehold that's could work really well. So I have that iron in the fire as well, because you never forget where you come from.
Wow. Cool to hear. Hey, and please tell me something, some of the band's highlights through the years. And I know about the festival in Poland back in 1988. I remember I was reading Metal Hammer magazine. I saw you playing in Poland. I wasn't there, but I knew that you were playing there together with a lot of with some Polish bands and some German bands, right?
Yeah, it was Exhumer and Autocraft from England,
England, yeah.
And Exhumer was from Germany, great band.
Exhumer from Germany, and what was it? Was also a local band, but
a lot of Polish bands. Yeah,
and you were the headliner, right?
Yeah, it was unbelievable. You know what an honor that was, and it was in '88. But you know, a lot of cool things happen when you're on the road. And in this case, we got to Poland, and Katowice, I guess, is real close to Auschwitz.
Ooh,
right?
Heavy.
So, you know, a lot of American bands want to go there and take pictures and shit. So the Polish guy said, the crew guys that we were hanging with, he goes, you know, Auschwitz is right down here, not far, if you'd like to go. And I just saw something in their eyes, you know, like, oh, we really don't want to fucking go there. So I said, you know what? Fuck that, man. Let's just stay here and party. We don't need to go there. So I could see they were like, oh, cool. And then we played with a band, Wolf Spider.
I have a record of them here.
Yeah, so they were the Polish band, and they were really cool guys. So we played 3 shows in Poland, and at the end, I said, call those guys into our dressing room. And they came in, we took a pile of Polish zlotys,
money.
I pushed it to the middle of the table. I said, this is for you. We want to give our money to you guys. And man, because back then they were oppressed. It was behind the Iron Curtain, and they had to get stamps for gas and food.
Yeah.
They were playing heavy metal, and they were our brothers in metal. It's the best thing in the world I think I've ever done, is the look on their face and the thankfulness of those guys when they knew that they were going to get all this money from Nasty Savage. You know, those are some highlights, things like that. Another time we were in Rio de Janeiro.
Yeah, Brazil.
And that was like 90. And this kid was part of our crew. His name was Umberto, a young little guy. And he kept going, Nasty Ronnie, tomorrow you come to my house. You come to my house. And I'm like, who the fuck is this kid? I go, but you know what? When you're in Rome, you do what the Romans do. You know, you don't be an ugly American. You use everybody's customs and you respect that. And if this kid wants us to go to his house, I don't care if it's a shack. If he wants us to come to our house, his house to have dinner, we're going, guys. They go, okay. So all of a sudden, the next day he has a car come to get us, and he's in the car. Okay, let's go. And we go up this mountain by Sugarloaf, the big mountain there in Rio. We go all the way up to the top of this mountain through the jungles and shit. We go all the way to the top, and there's a man with a big gate, a gate, and the guy's got a rifle on his shoulder. He goes, Umberto, okay, open the gate. They open the gate. We go in, and it's this fucking palace on the top of this mountain. And his mom was some like countess. She had this big dress on with a brooch, and his dad was some dignitary. Rich people. They had a big pool, and we go in the house, and they have this giant, long, 30-foot table with gold silverware, and it's full of food, man. And we had the best time, you know. And we did, and I wrote about that in the song Welcome Wagon. It goes, I'd like to go back to Sao Paulo, South America, down in Brazil. Then it was off to Rio de Janeiro. I was still thinking about Sao Paulo, the beautiful beaches of Ipanema. It wasn't long we saw the Tonga over the mountains and through the jungles on our way to Umberto's palace. Welcome wagon, won't you be my friend? So that's what it was about, was welcoming people and relationships in different countries and customs. And that's the greatest thing, man. Like when we were when we were in Belgium, the fans, there was a guy in the crowd, you might have seen him. He had this logo on his shirt, and I couldn't tell what it was, but it looked like a digitized Nasty Savage logo. You know, it almost looked like a Lego type of thing. And after the show, he came up, he goes, hey man, he had a big mustache, he's an older guy. He goes, my mom knitted this sweater for me, and it's a Nasty Savage shirt. I was like, holy shit. You know, those are the great moments when you spend time with people who really, really appreciate you and love you for the music or whatever. You want to make an impact on their lives. And the travel, the people, the fans, make their day, man. Spend a moment with them and ask them questions, and, you know, just hang out. That's my favorite part. The show and all that's fine. The dealing with the business and promoters are great, but the media people like yourself and people who help, what you do for metal is so important. Marco, you help spread the word of all these hardworking bands, and we need people like you out there to do this, to tell the stories. And you people listening out there, respect this man and follow him and spread his word, because he's got me right now, and I'm giving him my time because I respect what he does. And it's so important to take care of like when I was in Belgium, I was able to do an interview with Art Shock magazine.
Yeah, with Stan Novak.
So, you know, I give the time to the people who deserve it. And it's so important, man. And highlights are always going to be travel and those hard times, the tough times. But you know what? You always have to be smart, and you have to take care of business and get home safe and alive. Don't go out there and do stupid shit, get in trouble, get arrested, get busted, you know, wreck your vehicles. And, you know, it's not about that, man. It's about getting home safe and alive and telling the tale and meeting new people. You know what I am is I'm a shipbuilder. You know what a shipbuilder is? You relationships.
Oh, yeah. I'm a connector. That's my job.
That's right.
That's my job, connector.
And now you can say you're a shipbuilder and tell people I make relationships. It's what life's all about, man. We're only here for a short time. It goes by very fast. Make the most of it. But those are the fun times, man. The highlights are recording and all this, and being in a band and the fans. And it's really the travel and those hard times that you survive through, the ups and the downs.
What you're telling about the ship, your job and my job, the connector job, it was a little story. a few years ago when I was, I think it's about 4 or 5 years ago, around my 40th birthday. I'm not sure, and I'm not 45 now. I invited some friends from Germany. You know them probably. I know some guys from Creator. I saw them, and some of these guys I invited for my birthday party, and they have kids now playing in bands themselves. So I said to Berneman, he's a ex-Sodom guitarist, and Jule, Ventor from Creator. I said,
Yeah,
and those kids were playing on my birthday party. Those children of them. But
that's cool.
I also invited a friend of mine who playing in a sort of melodic hard rock band from Germany, and he do covers of all kinds of uh, 80s hard rock bands. Then I also invited a black metal band who I released on my label. I have a record label, and I did also a punk band, more a street punk band, and I pulled them all together. And then my friend from from Burneman said, "Well, what are you doing, Marco? You bring all these styles together on one party. It will be one big fight, you know." I said, "No, it's my birthday. Everybody is welcome, and we make one big party together." And then, in the end of the evening, everybody had fun with each other. It was posers, thrashers, skinheads, black metal guys, and everybody was drinking and having fun together. And that was, he said, "You're a real connector, Marco." That's what.
Well, yeah, exactly. And you know what? I think most people respect each other because they know how hard it is to be in a band and tour and record and get signed and do the business at hand. And one thing too, when we were on tour in America,
Yeah.
it was 1990 with DRI and Sick of It All. Two pretty
Yeah.
much hardcore bands and Nasty Savage. So we were up against a lot of skinheads and hardcore people, and it was a time when DRI did their album Crossover.
Oh,
So they
that's
were
an
getting a lot of
awesome
flack.
record.
They
Awesome
were getting
record.
a lot of flack too because the hardcore punks were going, "Why did you cross over? You crossed over. You're not hardcore." So we dealt with a lot of that stuff that you had to deal with the.
Yeah.
But you know what? Most of those hardcore and punks, they appreciated the hard work when we were on stage. One time, the only show was really bad was Poughkeepsie, New York, and in
What?
the Carolinas. But Poughkeepsie, there was a bunch of hardcore skinheads up there shooting me birds, going, "Fuck you, fuck you." So I said, "Hey, man, why don't you come on stage and I'll kick every one of your asses?" And none of them came up. I was like,
Wow.
"Come on, come on." I'd just sit there, jump in the air, and flip on, land on my back, get up and go, come on, what you doing?" So I kind of lost my temper there. But it's just bringing people together. It's all about it. And I got more respect for doing that, calling them out, because they were all afraid to come up on stage.
What you're telling is gold. What
If,
about these?
if you ever run into Spike and DRI, ask them about that.
I'm very close to Felix Griffin. He's my friend.
Oh, he was a killer. He was raising hell on that tour.
He's my buddy. He's my buddy,
They
and
got
he
fights on stage with each other.
yeah, he's my buddy, and he told me a lot of things. Yeah, he's telling the tough hardcore scene where he was into it because he was very young. Felix was a very young guy at the time.
Ask him about that tour with Nasty Savage.
I will. When I speak
You
to
had
him.
Sick of It All was straight edge punk. So
Yeah,
they
yeah.
bring guys who are straight edge. DRI was party punks and hardcore. Then Nasty Savage was long hairs thrashers. It was great, man. I loved it because we were getting turned on to new people every night, and they and I didn't even have TV sets then, or when we were in Europe, I didn't have TV sets back in the day either. We'd get them once in a while, but not very often. So like the TVs isn't always.
Yeah, because and now I think I'm coming to that point. Wait, not yet. But you played at Noorderlicht Club, right? Oh, here. About the crazy road stories, you already told me some. But you also played in my hometown club, Noorderlicht in Tilburg. How do you remember this club?
It's in Belgium when we played on that tour.
In Tilburg. No, you played in 1988. You played at the Noorderlicht Club in Tilburg, the Netherlands.
Oh, yeah. I remember that because I think it was after Poland and I had a twisted ankle and I was on
Oh,
crutches because we're on the last show in Poland. All the bands came together. We were jamming and I had Curtis on my shoulders and I was running around and I twisted my ankle. And when we were in Holland, I couldn't get out of the tour bus in Amsterdam, so I never got to see Amsterdam.
oh my God. Yeah, you
And I
missed
remember
something.
going to that club, and it was a great club. And I remember it was intense, a great intense crowd, and it was a younger crowd, but we were all young back then. So
Yeah, back then, yes. Now they're old.
it was just cool to meet new people and to be able to play for them at that time in the 80s. You know, it was unbelievable.
And about this Amsterdam thing. Now you played in Amstelveen at the P60, I think, and the show with the Heavy Metal Maniacs fan club. And have you seen Amsterdam? Because it was quite near. Eh?
You know what? I didn't get to see it, but my guys went with one of the guys from Russia that came, who lives in Holland now. He actually wrote this book about Nasty Savage, I think, and put it out, and a lot of it's not correct. It's almost
Oh.
like a fiction book, but anyway.
Is it cool? Is it cool?
I told him, I said, get whatever photos you want off the off our website, do whatever you want. I did an interview for him and then he reviewed that show. But a lot of the stuff he said in the book was not factual at all. David Austin got it. He was telling me all about it. I said, fuck it. It doesn't matter, man. You know, anybody could write a book. Let him. I don't care. So, but that show, I didn't get to see Amsterdam. You know, what happened for me is I sleep with a CPAP machine to breathe better.
Yeah.
And my CPAP died in the first night I got to Holland. I had to go find another one and buy it. So
oh
the
my
guys,
God, really?
yeah, my driver and the guys that were working from the rally took me to another town. They helped me find it, and it was $1,500. Man, I had to buy that thing because otherwise.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So I kind of missed the day when they went to Amsterdam.
Oh my God! It's
But
two times in a row. Then there have to be a second new chance to come back to the Netherlands, and now we to see the capital finally. Because,
yeah,
but it's changing. The Amsterdam is changing. I'm not from Amsterdam, but Amsterdam is changing. That's too bit, too pity.
well, they went on the Friday night and took the ferry across or something and got over there and they went into the pot shop so they could buy some reefer, you know. So and but that's what their main thing they wanted. But they wanted to go to the red light district and see the girls. I would have loved to seen that stuff, but we'll have to come back again next time, you know.
You have to. You have to.
I had to
But
get my
there's less girls. Not so many girls anymore. The city wants to close a lot of things down, like coffee shops and red light district. It's very sad.
It is because that's economic impact. You know, it's a big business. But you got to deal with what's going on. Overall, though, the people in Holland and Belgium and some of the greatest people I've ever met and the fans, and I just love to hang out with the people and get a chance to talk to them. And there was guys that came from France, Germany,
Yeah,
all over
good friend of
Europe
mine.
to see us, and it really respectful. And that's why I like to give gifts to the crowd too. They get flowers, they get pieces of the TV, they get the song list with blood, you know. So I give gifts. It's like Santa Claus, man. I give gifts to the people, you know. I give gifts like this thing here is some kind of wood thing, but you know, you got to give people gifts so they have something to remember you by.
My friend was a good friend of mine from Germany. He was at the Heavy Metal Maniacs Festival. He actually planned to go with me to Belgium, but we had no place in the car. So we went to Amstelveen to see you there. A good friend of mine, Marco was his name. I don't know if you also Marco, but Marco from Germany. He's a great Marco Bonebreaker is his name. Marco Timian.
Might not have met him then.
Hey, you have met him, I think. So big Nasty Savage fan from Germany. Good friend of mine.
Well, it means so much. It means so much because at our age and after 40 years to still have people that are fans and appreciate and, and know about us, and the new people that are learning about us because of this, what you're doing today is so important, man. So important.
And there's also a friend of mine who should come with us to Belgium to the show in Diest. But his mother died the day before. I told you in Belgium.
Oh, yeah.
And he was so sad. And I want to bring him some merchandise for him because he couldn't come. And he sold everything in Amsterdam. And I was sad for
Yep.
myself and I sad for him because we didn't.
That much. It's just what I brought in a suitcase. What is your friend's name?
It's my name. My friend's name. The name of my friend is Tom. Venom. He called himself Venom Tom because he's a big Venom fan, but also a big Nasty Savage fan. He's from Belgium, so maybe you can say something to him. He will watch it. And
that's what I was about to do, man. Hey, Venom Tom, I'm sorry we missed you, and I'm sorry for the loss of your mom. There's nothing more important than family and our mother. We only have one mom, man. So honor your mother always to be a better man in mankind and do great things in honor of your mom. And I'm sure she's proud of everything you've ever done. And I'm sorry I got to miss you, brother. But when we come back, we'll get together. Marco's going to make sure, and we'll get together and we'll see each other. I'll give you a big hug, man. Cool. God bless you and your family.
Thank you very much. For him, he will like it. He will love it. Hey, and about we're talking about debts, like losing your mother. It's a very sad thing. But you also lost some people in the band, right? Can you tell me a little bit about the depths of Nasty Savage? Because
it's always been like a curse, man. But the first one was Craig Huffman, who is our original drummer, and he passed away, cancer, after he was gone from Nasty Savage for years and years. Then we were in, right after the first album, we were coming back from Texas, and Fred Dregishin, our bass player, got in an accident, cut his hand in a plate glass window, and he messed up his tendons in his arm, so he couldn't be our bass player anymore. We had to get Dezo as a bass player. And then after Dezo quit, because his dad made him quit the band because he's ended up to be a professor at a university now, then we got Chris Morehouse, who played on Abstract Reality. And then we toured Europe with Chris Morehouse in '88. And yeah, he's on the picture of Chris there. And he was in a tragic car accident with his girlfriend after we came back from tour. And it's tragic because Chris was such a good guy. He was a real fan of Nasty Savage. He's a great friend with Scott Carino, who's our bass player now. They all hung out together. And then just recently, Richard Bateman died of an illness abruptly. And he was our bass player on that toured in America with 60 shows, 65 days. And he was on Penetration Point. What a monster bass player. He could have been the bass player for Metallica. I mean, he was just unbelievable guy. So sometimes you don't realize how great people are until they're gone. And, to see their work ethic, and we'd have a killer argument. Everybody would be screaming, and Richard would always be the guy to go, "Hey, it's all cool. Come on, man, it's cool." He was just that kind soul, and God bless him. Then Curtis has had a problem with a brain tumor. Curtis Beeson, our drummer, and so we've had little tragedies and big tragedies, and ups and downs, and that's why we keep it real, man, because you never know when your day's going to be not here. So you got to remember, people, make the most of your life, be positive instead of negative, and help people, help that old lady across the street or move a turtle out of the road, whatever you got to do, man, do good things for others, and respect your family, and your family is so important. Give respect, man. Enjoy life.
Because you told, I knew these things, and I read more about you, and I was like, oh, should I ask you this question? Because it's a real curse for the Nasty Savage, of course. But yeah, there's some tragic things happened also with the band, you know.
And there's a lot of other bands that have dealt with this, and as we get older in age, you hear this guy passed away and this guy, and
Yeah, it's normal, of
it's what
course.
we deal with. It just shows that heavy metal is as real as life is real, and we all deal with it. We all put our shoes on 1 foot at a time. We're all real people. We go home to families and we drink water and coffee, and we do take out the trash, and we make our beds and do laundry, and we go on stage and we play heavy metal. And a lot of these heavy metal guys, they might have tattoos and look crazy, but they're great people in their communities and live, and they're great people. You can't judge a book by its cover, man.
No. And you recently did 2 shows over here in the Benelux, one in Belgium in Diest, and one in the Netherlands at Heavy Metal Maniacs. Have you enjoyed this short tour, and how intense was it for you guys?
And it was something we really look forward to, and I gotta thank the Heavy Metal Maniacs crew and that group. What a bunch of professional heavy metal dudes, man. You know, they're just straight up great people, and you know, I just, because of them, that's why we came, because they wanted us to play at. So I've got to give it all to them, because we wouldn't, you know, I don't have a booking agent. I don't have a manager. They just said, hey, Ron, we want Nasty Savage. We worked out a deal. They did everything they said they would. And what a bunch of great guys. And the guys who picked us, from the guys who picked us up at the airport, just all first class people. And honor the club. Everything was awesome. And we're not very picky, you know, we go with the flow, and those guys were just a joy to work with. They got the TVs, the chain, the flowers, everything I needed they had. And I really respect them as I learn more about them. And on the banner in there, on the stage, right before I did the song Triple X, I went up to, and I was telling the people, these guys, this is what it's about, support them. And I had blood, and I took it off my head, and I put XXX on their banner for Heavy Metal Maniacs.
Heavy Metal Maniacs, yeah.
There's a photo I have of that too. And, you know, it just happened right there. And I said, oh shit, I'm putting it on here. And then Belgium, you know, it's just the promoter, what was his name?
Eric.
Yeah, Eric. What a great guy he was. You know, I don't think he knew a lot about Nasty Savage. And then once he saw us play and saw the fan reaction, he started going, man, I can book you guys more. So then we played in Belgium. He was like, holy shit, man. He was real excited because we traveled with him, and, you know, we picked you up. And all of a sudden he was like, man, I'm going to get you more events and open airs for 2024. So for me, it was just the next moment. You're only as good as
Gerjan,
huh?
Gerjan, the tour manager.
Yeah,
you know, guys.
You're only as good as your last performance. It's like a painter looking at a blank canvas. You're only as good as that painting, or a surfer looking for the ultimate wave. You better never find it, because once you find it or think you're the greatest or is the best wave, or a biker looking for that ultimate destination ride, you know, you got to keep searching and searching and searching. And I wrote about it in a song, search for the opening with despair. And that's like the last line of Indulgence. Reach for I forget what it is, but search for the opening with despair. And that's what I'm talking about, is keep reaching, keep going. So that was the last shows we did. It was amazing. We were together with a band. We were making plans, and we were with people who loved us the most. We took our time to come there for a reason. And you just got to be thankful for that.
I was very happy that Gerjan and Egbert, 2 of my friends, Egbert, you probably also remember Egbert, the Dutch guy,
yeah.
and
Cooler.
Gerjan.
Yeah, that's the guy. That's your buddy. Yeah, and
Gerjan and Egbert, they are both buddies for me. And Egbert also.
They're legends.
Yeah, Egbert also works a little bit for my label. I gave you a CD of Heavy Rain. Remember that?
Oh yeah, I got the CDs. Yeah.
Yeah, it's for my label, and also Egbert is involved in my label. He always discover old bands, and we released that together. It's a cool guy, Egbert, and also Gerjan is cool.
It's because of him that we came to Holland and Belgium.
Yeah, he did that.
He
Yeah,
alone is the guy who reached out and got us there, and I love that guy, man.
that
You
guy
know, and
is great.
those are what it's about, is relations. And if he ever comes to Florida, he's welcome to hang out with me for a day or two, man. You know,
I will
that's what
tell
it's
him. I will
about.
tell him. I call
That's
him
what
nearly every week, so I tell him.
you know what, in the hotel, David, the new guitarist, he's a good drinker. He must have drank 20 beers, but
Yeah.
he slept in the room with him. And when he woke up, David had his hoodie on. He was going, he's got my hoodie. He's got my hoodie. His sweatshirt. Our guitarist, he was wearing his shirt because he slept
From
in the room.
Egbert. From
Yeah.
Egbert.
I got a picture of him wearing it. It's funny as hell. He was going, I need my hoodie back.
Awesome. Yeah, he's
Gotta
awesome.
ask him about that.
Yeah. Hey, and what about the song Metal Night? I love that song. It's like it's a spirit song, a spirit heavy metal song. Posters will die, you know. Hey,
Yeah.
but there's a movie made in 2012. Metal Maniac is the movie called. Where can we see this movie? Because it's more like a B movie, like like an underground movie, right?
You know what? I've never seen it.
You
What
never
is it?
seen it? Oh,
It's
is it
got metal
just
lights in it?
there's a video clip. I know the video clip where they slaughter posers and so. You have seen it probably.
And they're using our song?
Yes.
I've
I
never
s-
seen it.
I sent it to you after the video, after we released after we finished this. I sent you the link of the video. Okay.
Yeah. I might have seen it on something like that, but I didn't realize it was part of a movie.
It's called a Metal Maniac movie. It's also in your Metal Archives information, but it's a movie from 2012, and it's about killing posers and slaughtering false metal and stuff like that. And then they
Oh,
sing, and then they have this song Metal Nights, you know.
oh
This
no.
it's really, I sent to you. If you don't know it, I sent to you. It's really
Oh, no, I've
cool.
never seen it. I hope it's not too violent and show us in a bad light.
No, and then I skip a little bit the question because I want to hear about you. Do you also because you nah, I wait for that. I wait for that. I wait for that for the last. Okay, hey, and do you still follow the metal scene? And are there any new bands you like? What do you think about Violent Sin? You saw they were support for you in Belgium.
Oh,
Violent Sin.
the young guys.
Yeah, you like
Yeah,
them?
you know what? I love those guys because they were old school young guys, and they were old school.
Yeah,
They were dressed and so respectful, and they were right up front. And he was doing backup vocals, you know, and they were singing the songs of Nasty Savage with me. And
yeah.
I think those guys are really good guys. They have a
Cool
great
band.
look.
Yeah.
And, I just told him, I said, dude, don't stop. Keep going. And they wrote me back and he said, man, we really want to thank you. They're very respectful and really smart kids. And I just said, man, don't stop. You guys are great. And they have something going on, man. You should
They're
sign those
awesome.
guys.
I love this band. I
Are you
tried
gonna
to
put them on a record?
Yeah, no, I was speaking to Machiel, who's also in the band, the bass player. I think he's the bass player, and I was talking with him and with Robin, who's the sound guy, also engineer, also with anyway with those guys. They also play both in Violent Sin. I was talking about releasing their stuff, but it didn't work out. But no hard feelings. We
Did
still
they have a record with someone
yeah
else?
yeah
Oh,
with
yeah, that's right.
but it's okay. The
Yeah.
guy who released them is also good. A guy I really like. So it's a guy in Germany. It's called Dying Victims Productions. Great label also, and a good friend, colleague for me. So I don't care. It's a very good label. And Violent Sin is for me one of the greatest new bands in Belgium, and they have the spirit of the old school. Yeah, for sure.
Well, I really think you should get behind and help those guys and bring out a Belgian band that really pops right now, and they have the potential.
Yeah.
They have the youth, man. They're just good guys. I really enjoyed working with them and getting because they were in the back in the dressing room, just real quiet and just looking. And I was starting to talk to them. They're like, "Oh my God, he's talking to us." I'm like, "Hell yeah, man. What's up? Hand me that piece of ham. Hey, you want this?" I was like fucking with them. It was funny.
And they,
I got to know them though in a short time, and good kids, good kids.
I saw the singer standing with his girlfriend in front of you in the first front row. His girlfriend was a young girl, like 20 years old,
Yeah,
90 years old.
had pants on. I remember her.
Yeah, cool. I
Very
hope they,
good.
yeah, I
Very.
hope they watch it.
So you asked me about, do I get in the metal scene? I really don't, man. I rarely go to shows. Rarely. The Brass Mug is a big place here that all the metal bands come and go. And if I'm not playing, I'm not going, because I'm busy with other business things and stuff. And I keep up with bands like Obituary because I really appreciate them, or what Left to Die and Terry Butler and as Siren, bands like that are my friends. Chris Jericho, Fozzy, stuff like that. I try to keep up with what they're doing. And the bands who play with us, when we get there that night and I check them out and talk to them, that's how I relate mostly. But I'm not buying metal. I'm not listening to much metal, believe it or not, because it just takes me away from my focus of what I'm doing with Nasty Savage. I love Merciful Fate, bands like that, but I don't even listen to them a lot. Or Slayer. I just, like I said, I listen to more 60s music and 70s and classic rock. My other inspirations, but there's so many good bands out there. It's so hard right now. That's why we're fortunate that we've been doing this so long, that we have that history, because you can't buy that history, man. You got to earn it. And that's what I tell these bands. Don't stop. Keep going. Now everything's digital. You release them, it's out all over the world. We used to lick stamps and send hundreds of demo tapes out for free to get people to listen and radio stations to play it. I mean, dealing with the media, the newspapers, everything that you need to do what you have to do. So I appreciate bands. If they reach out to me, I always engage with them and help them, or if I could steer them in the right direction. But as far as following, not that much. Only if it's a relationship that I have going on and somebody that, physically know or something like that. But it's always good to see what everybody's doing. And social media brings us together easier. I'm always trying to engage with the different metal groups and posting, and locally trying to promote. And there's a guy, Death Metal Dave, has a radio show here. He does a lot for metal, and there's a lot of good people out there working hard, media, photographer guys that are out there. And, we just try to pump them up whenever we can. And when we play, I try to get them all to come out to Nasty Savage to see us. We don't play very often here.
No, I know that. It's very rare. So I'm very happy I could see you. But check out Heavy Rain, the CD I gave you. You will love it. It's like Pink Floyd kind of psychedelic rock from the 60s, 70s. You will like it. It's
cool. And I do have it. It's in my room now.
Check it out. And what was the reason you to split up in the early 90s for Nasty Savage?
Well, yeah, it was, that was just like tired of being tired, man. A lot of depressing stuff was going on and not going anywhere, ripped off by a record company and not good management. Come back from tours arguing, and everybody, we just said, fuck it, man. And then we kind of brought it back a little here and a little there, and a promoter would call and I'd say, hey, let's get the band back together. So yeah, like I said, it's like a relationship. Sometimes they just don't work. We ran our course, we did so much, then Curtis was gone, and it's just a lot, and Ben left, and so but then we moved on, and now it's 2024 coming, and we've got things happening. And so after it just happens, And
you dated a reunion back in 2000, in the early 2000s, and your latest album, Psycho, is dates from 2004, right?
Yeah, 2004, 2005.
Yeah, and now there's a new album coming.
Yeah, there is, and I don't want to let the cat out of the bag totally, but I have a verbal agreement with a record company, and we're going to be recording, and we should be hopefully completed by the end of March with a new record, maybe, and to come out later in the year. And another thing that no one knows yet is we got booked to play Keep It True in Germany in
Oh, wow.
2024 in October. So that
Great
should be like
festival.
great springboard for the new record and everything. Boom, right there. So I'm sure there'll be other gigs before that, and maybe even on that little tour. But we are playing in Germany in 2024 for sure at Keep It True.
Oliver already made the contract for you to get you guys there in Germany at the Keep It True festival.
The legend himself called me and said, "Hey man, I want Nasty Savage. We want to celebrate 40 years of Nasty Savage, and we want you to be the co-headliner." And he's coming to Tampa Bay next month, early December. He's going to New York to see Kiss. He's going to come back to Florida to go to Morris Sound Studios. We're all going to meet there and talk about Morris Sound and reminisce with Jim Morris, who I just talked to yesterday about the Nasty Savage project.
Wow.
And I also talked to a guy named Dan Johnson, who is a producer of Death, Sabotage, Crimson Glory. So I'm trying to align what I want to do. I want to fly with eagles, so I don't have to deal with turkeys. It's all about eagles, man. You don't want to fuck with turkeys, deal with eagles. I'm lining up some things right now.
Wow. So I have to. Then I hope I can make it to the Keep It True. If you're playing there, it's a great festival. It's a great festival. One of the greatest festivals in Germany, to be honest.
Yeah, we've played there twice. So, and that town, Wassenberg, is a beautiful city. But you know, Wassenberg?
Würzburg. Yeah. And now you're playing on the big one in Lauda Koningshoven, right? On the big one. No. Now you're going to play on the main festival in...
Oh, you know what? I'm not sure. It's a different town, so it's not Wassenberg?
There are two locations, I think. There's one in Keep It True Rising or something, and then there's Keep It True. There's two, and it's all both by Oliver organized, but it's...
Or the Rising, I guess. Yeah. But that city was demolished in World War II. It's unbelievable how they rebuilt that city. When you see, there's a museum where you can see what it looked like. And, you know, the power of the people, man, you know. But I'm sure we'll probably get with the promoter that we work with in Belgium and maybe do a couple of shows somewhere along the way before that. So we might play in the Netherlands again.
Oh, cool. Is Gerjan going with you again? Gerjan?
The promoter?
Yeah.
Oh, he's talking to me about doing some more business. So hopefully.
He's a good guy. I like him. I like Gerjan a lot. So I hope you're gonna...
Yeah, like I said, the ball's in his court to get us some business, and he's got an opportunity. So we'll see what he can do.
Awesome. Hey, and you already said everything, but you don't listen to metal only. You listen rarely metal, but you still love killing posers.
Well, getting back to that, like on TV. There's all these different channels for music. Yeah. And there's a heavy metal channel. It's the music channel on TV, and it's just music. So I do listen to that. I listen to that to hear the new bands, to try to get inspiration. Sometimes I'll listen for a couple of hours to all these new metal bands that they're playing on this. And so, you know, I do listen to metal too, but not as much. When I'm really researching and developing ideas and concepts, and I want to kind of hear what's going on. Yeah. Not that I want to sound like that, but because I have my original style. As far as killing posers, no, not anymore. I think that was kind of immature.
Yeah, you never did. You never killed any posers, or you never beat someone up.
I think it was immature and stupid on my part to do that, but it was just the sign of the times. It was the 80s. Yeah. We were rebellious. We're just metal knights, you know, and we thought that's what we had to do. But no, man, if you're listening, don't kill anybody. Don't kill a living creature.
No,
Of
no,
an
no, no.
animal.
But
Don't even kill a butterfly or nothing, man. You know, it's not cool. It's not cool. And I'm not proud. I'm really
but
not proud of that to say kill posers, because posers are
posers
real
will
people
die.
too. They
Yeah,
go home to their mom and dad and the kids. And, you know, I feel bad about that. And I hope that no one ever killed a poser because of that. It's like the Judas Priest, the guy that they said because of his song committed suicide, you know.
yeah,
You got
like
to,
Dream Deceivers from Judas Priest. Yeah, the fans, James fans or something.
yeah, but you know what? You can't change the past, so you
No,
kind of got to be proud of it and live with it. But it's the decisions that we make in life that you can't go back and change. So
no,
it
no,
is
no.
what it is. It's more of a joke, people. It wasn't real. Like go out and kill somebody, but and a lot of people live by that song. They love that, and so I don't want
Yeah,
to
I
just
love it too.
I don't want to make you think of the song in a different way now, but
No, 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 no.
real
But
about it. It's not something I'm really proud of now. When I look back and say kill posers, because posers are, it could be me a poser. You know, I could be a, people could think I'm a poser. Who knows? It's
yeah,
just what the smartest thing to do. But fuck it, I
yeah.
can't. So
But
no,
if you
I'm not killing posers.
but if you got honestly, I also was always a trasher. But if I listen to some of the bands like Dokken or Rat, I pretty like them. They're pretty cool actually. You know.
They're all good. It's all good, man. You know, because it all takes a lot of work to get where you're at, and you just got to respect that. But back in the day, it was Motley Crue and Rad and all those bands we said were posers, and I used to put them on the TV set I was about to smash. I'd put
Yeah.
decoupage of the band's faces. We take their records and throw them in the crowd, and they break them, and they'd fly the records like frisbees, man. It's crazy stuff. It was stupid.
Listen to Warren the Martini or George Lynch, and you know they're
They're
the guitar.
killer. They're all good. It's all good, and I apologize if it offended
No,
anybody.
it's not. You don't have to apologize, but it was fun, and it was something in the time spirit of the '80s. I know that.
Right.
Hey,
I remember. I remember one day we used to get on these group calls, and it was Chuck from Death. He had a bunch of like hardcore. See, because Nasty Savage was around, and then these guys would all get on this big group chat, and they'd call me up, and they were starting to fuck with me because they thought that, oh, Nasty Savage wasn't real, because now this new era of death metal, and that was the real heavy shit, and here I'm doing my thing. And one time they called, and I was just listening to the radio, and in the background was Bruce Springsteen,
oh my God!
the USA, and they're going, what are you listening to? Is that fucking Bruce Springsteen? I'm like,
But they
fuck
know
on, man.
it. But they know it. They know who it is. If they don't, they know that it was Bruce Springsteen.
Yeah, they're going, Nasty Ronnie's listening to Bruce Springsteen. I go, dude,
Oh my God!
and right away they're like, he's a poser. Ah! It was
Scene police. Scene
it was
police.
it was funny, man. I remember that. You know, there's little things you remember.
Oh wow.
But they used to call in a group chat and talk shit about different people and want to call them. They said, let's call them and fuck with them. And they get someone on the phone and then they all fuck with it. It was fucked up, man. I
Yeah.
remember that shit. I just
Well,
sit there and listen. I wouldn't say much. I just listen to what they're saying. But yeah, I was listening to Bruce Springsteen in the background. They're going, are you listening to Bruce Springsteen?
well, nothing wrong with that. I like
I
Bruce
said, fuck,
Springsteen.
it was on the radio, man. What the fuck?
Yeah. Well, and nowadays, you skip that. Skip that. Like for me, also, I listen to a lot of different kind of music, and I don't care anymore. But when you're young, yeah, you have to be. Yeah, you have to follow the rules of the scene, and but later on you think, what I'm doing, what the fuck I'm doing, I like this song, but I can't listen to it because so other people say it's not cool, That's
Yeah, when I'm working in the garage, I have booths in antique malls. So I have these booths set up in these antique malls. So I'm always working in the garage, getting the stuff ready to take to these different antique malls. I'm listening to Rolling Stones, Pink Floyd, Beatles, the classic stuff, and Black Sabbath once in a while, or Gino Vanelli, or maybe George Michael. I started listening to some of George Michael, not his pop stuff, but some of his soulful music is just unbelievable singer. And the feeling you get when you listen to some of these people, like obscure Elvis. I listen to Elvis gospel music. Just, I'll ride my Harley and I'll be listening to it on my bike, and it's timeless stuff, man. And it gives me feelings and inspires me. So, but the Rolling Stones, some of the old stuff, I mean, you got to give those guys credit what they've done and accomplished, and the Beatles music, and all that classic rock. There's so many other bands I listen to, but those are my main ones, man. Pink Floyd, love those Pink Floyd albums. Goat's Head Soup by the Rolling Stones is just some great, great music.
Especially bands from England, I hear.
Yeah, it seems to be a lot of English bands.
Yeah,
and I like a lot of it's just whatever catches my mind. But I got certain CDs, old Red Hot Chili Peppers, Talking Heads. Then it's the Damned. The Damned. Those hardcore guys, Dead Kennedys. Those are bands who the Plasmatics. Those are the bands that put marks on me that always I'll carry with me. That I always Ministry. Patsy Cline, Johnny Cash. People like that. I mean, people, real singers. I love Marty Robbins. He's a country singer, an old time. He sang that song El Paso, but he's a wonderful singer. There's just so many different bands that are out there, and music is powerful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I listen to also like bands like Aha, these days, because the singer is also very great, and so there's more. When you open your mind, open-minded for things, you discover so many more things. And when you close your mind, you always stay, and it's stupid. It's stupid.
I just find that heavy metal, especially Europeans, Mexico, people in Latin America, they're metal till they die. They're not going to be changing up to. I like reggae too, Bob Marley, because the message is there, the freedom, the struggle, the togetherness. That's what I write about in my own way. But to hear Bob Marley sing the oppression that they went through, and the history, Buffalo Soldiers, but all the Exodus is one of my favorite songs by Bob Marley. I love Exodus too, that fucking thrash, Suicidal Tendencies. So it's a mixture, but that whole but I was getting back to metal fans, and a lot of those metal kids are metal till they die, and I respect that too a lot, because they're not going to be listening to Pink Floyd. They're not going to be listening to anything but metal, and every day, and they're wearing their leather, and they're wearing their jeans jackets and their patches, and that's real, and that's who we represent as well. So we have a duty to uphold the heaviness and to bring the old school metal back, but you can't change who your inspirations are.
No. And that's what my friend from Belgium, Venom Tom, he said, you go interview Nasty Ronnie, ask him if he really kills posers. He asked me, and he's like, he's one of the guys with a bullet belt and a leather jacket full of patches and everyday metal. He breathes metal, and for me it's the same. I breathe metal too, but I can understand the other side of the metal too, and I'm curious if it's true. The European metal fans and the South American metal fans are more, focused on metal only than the American guys do.
I think so. But a real metalhead is going to be metalhead forever. But everybody's a little different. But I just found that the Europeans and South America, they live for it and they die for it, and they'll always be metal because they don't care about anything else. They're tattooed. No. And getting back to Venom Tom, I met Kronos when I was in '88 in England. He came to see us. He goes, "Oh, you're a fat bastard." He's telling me that. And I wasn't even that big back then.
No,
So I
no.
said, hey, motherfucker. I grabbed him. I picked him up over my head. And I got a picture of me holding up Cronus. And his mother was there. And
Cronus' mother?
I got a killer picture of him and his mom together.
Oh,
And
wow.
she looks just like his mom. And it was a cool background, too. It looks sick. And there's like, he's sitting there with his mom. I got a good picture of him. And we spent some time together. He was really, really a cool guy.
Oh, wow. I will tell him to watch it. But the interview will have to be edited before, and then when it's great, I will publish it in a good condition. No worries. Check out the interview I did I published today with Whiplash. I published today an interview with Whiplash on my channel. You check it out.
Well, give me a link to it and I'll help promote it. Do you use B-roll? Like when we're talking, do you go to pictures or images up when you edit?
I can, but I have somebody at my work who edits the videos.
Yeah, because while we're talking, you can throw up images, 1,000, 5 seconds, 5 seconds.
That would be cool. Yeah, that would be cool. But I don't have always the images.
Camera. You can take anything you want off our website. There's hundreds of pictures there, or the Facebook page, which is Nasty Savage Wage of Mayhem. That's our Facebook page. And there's also Nasty Savage Doom Society. And I have nastysavage.com. Feel free to take anything you want off any of that stuff to help you, help you with this interview or anything else you have.
Because I'm mostly focused on my record label, and this is something I do besides. I love the channel. I love to speak with bands and everything, but my main job is running my record label, and this I do pure for fun, pure for passion, to speak with bands and everything. So I'm not a big guy. I'm not like Stan Novak. Who interviewed you. He works for Aardschok magazine, metal magazine. It's not the same like me, but I hope to grow. I have some videos who have more than over a K of views, but I also have interviews who have a few hundred views. It depends, it depends.
It doesn't matter, man. As long as it's in your heart and you have the passion to get up and do it when other people don't. Other people think they could do it, but they need to get off their ass and make it happen. And when you make something happen, that's what it's about, man. Like I said, it's very important to have more media and metal, because people might catch this and go, you know what? This is a different angle. We were judging a book by its cover. This guy is literate. He's smart. He's a business owner. He's a father. They're real people, man. These are good people. They care about animals and flowers and TV.
And posers.
Yeah, and posers. So, just one person could make a difference, man. It doesn't matter. Just keep pushing it. Keep pushing it and keep pushing it.
I see often that the interviews get more popular sometimes after a year. I did an interview with Felix Griffin, very in-depth interview, like very long. And when they saw the first, it's now over so many K views, and a lot of comments, but it's in-depth and it's long. And a lot of people just want to watch fast things on YouTube, like fast, only a few minutes, and then they are already disconnected or but there are a lot of people who also love the inside stories of a musician. So that's where I focused on. I hope to give that people want to take the time and listen to the stories people have to tell, and that's something that's why I do it for myself, to read the stories and to let people hear the stories. That's the coolest thing.
Well, if the bands reciprocate and are able to help promote that, hey, I just did this interview, check it out, or the real fans will listen for an hour because
they do. Yeah, they do.
Other people come and go. It doesn't matter. You could do these little snippets, like a 15-second little spot, and say, check this out, the interview with Nasty Ronnie. And then I come in and say, yeah, I did this, and the TV's blah, and they go, click right here to see it, and push that out on these different groups.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, more people will start coming to your channel.
Yeah. I'm working on that.
and show an image of fucking blood and TV. And next thing you know, click here and see the whole interview. And next thing you know, you just keep doing that every day and pushing all the different bands.
Yeah. When I'm ready, when the interview is done, I write you again, and maybe you can check it before or I publish it, and then if you're gonna share it, that would be very nice. That would be very nice.
Yeah, don't worry about me approving anything. Just do your thing and put it out there, and then just let me know.
Cool.
Just your thing. You just got to let the people do their thing, man.
Yeah, cool. Thank you very much.
I didn't say anything I wasn't happy with saying, so there's nothing to be not happy with. So I trust you, man. Do your thing.
Is there anything else? Is there anything else I need to ask? And or do you have some final words for me?
Well, just thank you for everything and the support and the time and the fan base who's following you. It's like I said, it's so important to support heavy metal media, no matter what it is: podcasts, radio shows, magazines, TV, live, people on a mic, DJs, whoever's out there doing metal, support them, because that's the only way we're going to hear about bands, history, and shows coming up, current events. So it's just very important. And if they want to get more about Nasty Savage, they can go to hashtag Nasty Savage Wage of Mayhem, or go to Nasty Savage Doom Society. And then we have nastysavage.com. It's always great to hear from our fans. Reach out. We'll be happy to respond. And, just keep it flowing, man. Hopefully we'll see everybody in Germany, and we'll have some other shows before then. And, we'll have a new album out, and stay tuned. Stay tuned. Marco will let you know what's going on with Nasty Savage.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And is there also some because there are also Americans watching and from other continents in the world? Is there some gigs also planned for other continents in your home country?
We do have a show coming up in March in Tulsa, Oklahoma. It's called 2 Minutes to Tulsa. Sirith Ungol, Flotsam and Jetsam, Omen, to name a few. There's other bands too, so we're excited about that one.
Cool.
Right now, that's the only other one we have coming up. We're concentrating now. We have to write this material. We're pushed up against a deadline. Matter of fact, today I'm finishing. I'm creating the song "Brainwasher." I'm writing it today. I got a bunch of lyrics. I got to figure it all out. It's like putting a puzzle together, man.
Yeah.
I say this here, that here. Listen to the music. I put it here again, and it's like it's putting a puzzle together, man. It's telling a story, storytelling with Nasty Ronnie.
Oh wow! Hey, thank you very much for your time, and I hope we meet soon. And also follow me on my on my YouTube channel and record label, Headbangers Records from the Netherlands. That's my label. I also did a magazine, Headbangers Magazine, printed magazine for a long time. And now I do this YouTube channel instead of a printed magazine, because printed magazines were dying, unfortunately. So.
Yeah, I do the print magazine here in Florida, Born to Ride. And if they want to learn more about that, they could go to borntoride.com. That's my business that I do, a biker. It's a TV show. It's a magazine. Yeah. And then if you want to know more about Nasty Ronnie Wrestling, just Google Nasty Ronnie Wrestling. It'll come up. And there's a really cool thing you could Google too called Nasty Savage on Channel 10 News. It was when we went to Germany, they did a 9-minute piece getting the band back together in 2005. And it's killer, because I filmed in Germany the fans and got them talking, and they used all my footage on this TV spot. It's like a 9-minute piece on Channel 10 News here locally. So it's just Google Nasty Savage Channel 10 News. It's a great video. It's awesome. It's cool. Really.
I'm gonna take a look at everything, and I hope we meet soon again. What's the time now there?
Here it's 12:30 in the
Here it's
afternoon.
6 hours different,
So it's
and it
6:30 there.
6:30 in the evening. So I have to cook. I'm gonna make some wraps tonight with chicken and beans. So some Mexican stuff.
Oh, cool. I was gonna have breakfast. I got up this morning and went to the flea market and
Really?
bought some stuff, and I locked my keys in my car. My wife had to come out there and bring me my keys
And
this morning.
you what? And the weather is great there.
Oh yeah, it's about 70 degrees or 80. No, it's more like 80 degrees. It's hot. It's a little breezy today, but it's we're still getting heat here in November.
Unbelievable.
Looking forward to some cool weather though.
Okay. Hey, thank you very much for your time,
Okay.
Ronnie. And like, share, subscribe on our channel, and also follow Nasty Ronnie and his music and all his activities around biker and wrestling and everything he talked about. Follow this guy and enjoy the interview. Thank you very much.
All right, Marco, thank you. It's Nasty Ronnie from Nasty Savage signing off. I'll see you guys again on tour, on stage. Nasty Savage.
Thank you very much, man.